All right. Hey, welcome to Variant Corner 2.0, episode 9. I'm your host, Jeremy Levine, and on this week's episode, I will be discussing Touché Amoré's masterpiece, their, what's called, their grand opus, I guess, right? 2016's Stage 4. Now, this record is one that, if you listen to the episode, obviously the link will be in the description of this episode. The podcast, I really go deep into it, and it is such a heavy, emotional record. Touché Amoré is a hardcore band, I guess, post-hardcore, whatever you want to call that. But they produce really heavy music, and up to this point in their career, the subject matter wasn't this personal, I guess. And for those of you who don't know, again, I go into it in depth on the podcast. The long story short, the album is about his mother's battle with stage 4 breast cancer. So that kind of tells you all you need to know about the level of emotional just distress on the album. It's incredible. But so I opted to get not one but 2 pressings of this record when it came out. The Milky Clear with Oxblood. It's like an oxblood, like a blob. Here's the cover here. This was the Kings Road merch, the European pressing, or I guess a Kings Road merch European exclusive pressing. And it's one of my favorite looking records that I have. With this, you can see it pretty clearly there. I'm just making a weird reflection. There, that's probably better. So the Oxblood with the Milky Clear vinyl, like it looks really fucking nice, and it also sounds really fucking cool too. The album itself, it's fairly short, as are all of their albums. Like I think it's like 23 minutes maybe, something like that. But they pack a lot into that little amount of time. But also, so in addition to that one, that was limited to 500 copies. And currently, if you go on to Discogs or whatever and look at it, I think it's selling for, $30, $35, $40, something like that. I think I paid like $25 for it. So it's still relatively good price. I was looking on my notes here real quick. So, yeah, that's it. So European exclusive. I was correct on that. I just wanted to make sure. And then the second one that I got, which again, looking on my notes here, this is the box set. It's going for either, there's one for 46, one for 73. I think I paid 40 for it. But it comes with a 36-page LP-sized hardcover book of expanded artwork, 180-gram stage 4 vinyl on black vinyl. It's limited to 2,500 pressings. Strictly limited. It's only going to be pressed once. The same way they did with the Dead Horse X album. It was strictly limited to whatever amount it was, 1,500 or something like that. And it was a one-time pressing, and that's the only run that they say that they're doing of it. And that's what they did with this one here. So it's pretty cool. Also has a Gather, it's Palm Dreams on one side, and the B side is a song called Gather, which is a great fucking song on this really cool kind of blue opaque 7-inch, which I mentioned that on a different episode. I forget which album it was, but one of them came with the 7-inch, and I was talking about it. And I was like, oh, it comes on like a blue. I was thinking of this one, and I think I may have corrected myself in that one. I don't know. I'm not too sure, but whatever the case, this is the blue 7-inch, right? Also, it features artwork with I guess it's a collage, a collaboration between collage artist Anthony Garas, photographer Ryan Ellsworth, and art director designer Nick Steinhardt, who also plays in the band. So yeah, that's kind of it, I guess. And you see here, it's a big. There's a peach colored variant, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. That's really cool, but it would match this perfectly. It also is signed by the band as well, which is pretty cool. And like I said, these pages, all of this artwork, it mirrors the the cover of the regular record, as you can see with the squares and like the little pictures and everything. Like I said, it's really cool. Touché Amoré, along with like Cody and Cambria and a few other bands that I really like, they Manchester Orchestra, they put a lot of thought and a lot of care into their box sets, and just even the regular vinyl records. Typically, like, they're one of those bands that, you know, I love getting their records in because they look so fucking cool every single time, every pressing. Like, if I could get every single one of these pressings, I would, you know. And so yeah, I mean, this is one I was super excited to talk about, and it's been a while that I've been wanting to do it. Like, probably since I started the podcast, it's been on my list of episodes to do. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you a slideshow of all of the other variants as well. The ones that I think there's 9 total. There was quite a few on Discogs, but once I kind of narrowed it down, there was a lot of duplicates, and I was kind of sure. They said 15, but I think it's actually it's 11 total, because I have 9 on the slideshow and 2 that I just showed you here. So without further ado, here are the other 9 variants of Touché Amoré's Stage 4. All right, so here we have the red vinyl, which is a Death Wish e-store exclusive, limited to 500. The peach, which is a tour exclusive, also limited to 500. Like I mentioned, would actually match really well with the box set cover. There's a baby pink and bone, which is a European tour pressing only, also limited to 500, and probably the one that I want the most, but it's like $80 or whatever. The UK tour cover pressing, which was limited to 175 on black vinyl, just had this alternate cover. There is a pink transparent, which all proceeds of pre-orders went to the Breasties Organization for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Pressing count unknown. There is a beer transparent. That's a UK Indies exclusive and limited to 500 as well. White, which is a indie record store exclusive, limited to 1700, but it also included the Palm Dreams 7-inch. Next, we have the orange transparent, limited to 500. And last but not least, the black, standard black variant, pressing count unknown. All right, there you have it. There are all of the variants for Touché Amoré Stage 4 that I do not own. The baby pink and bone that I mentioned, that I said, oh, it's like $80 or something. It's actually, so it's $81 is the cheapest. Then there's a $92 one and a $108 on Discogs. So if I could find that pressing for $40 or even $50, I'd probably just take the plunge and get it. But of all the variants, that's probably my favorite, except for the Milky Clear with the Oxblood that I have now. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. You know, I'll be back next week, and again, well, next week I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try to switch the format up a little bit again. So I may not be back next Thursday, or maybe back. We'll see. But I may start putting out episodes on Tuesday here as a precursor to the podcast that I put out on Thursday. So I'm still kind of working that transition out and seeing how I want to do that. But so I guess for the near future, for the foreseeable future, at least for the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'll still be releasing episodes here on Thursdays. But at some point, probably next month, I will eventually transition and switch them to Tuesdays. So until then, you know, again, I'll keep seeing you on Thursdays, hopefully. Links for the podcast will be in the description, as well as social media, the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. So give me a follow on there. Just come say hi, come talk about the music, you know, whatever you want to do. So till next week, I'm Jeremy Levine, and this has been not the Variant Corner. This has been Variant Corner 2.0.